Good morning. I'm coming to you a little bit late this morning, which honestly I think has happened just about every single time. But it kills me a little bit because I am a very punctual person in my day-to-day life to a fault almost. But I can't get it together for this. So, um, welcome. A few minutes late, maybe 10 minutes late or so. I am here. I hope that you are well. I've got my coffee today. I need it badly. Um, yeah, good morning. So, creative stuff. Um, First of all, I want to talk about last week a little bit, some of the things I did, um, and some of the things that I'm going to do as a response to some of those things. Okay. So, essentially, this last week, I spent a lot of time sort of focused on lessons, as I do when my teacher's in the area. Um, I Anytime I can, I like to go and watch other people's lessons. Um, which, if you are a singer or a want to be singer or anything else, really, it doesn't even matter what your thing is. But if you ever get a chance to go and watch the instruction of others in the, uh, you know, I guess, medium that you would like to use yourself, I would highly recommend it. I learned so much more from watching a day's worth of lessons and taking one sort of later in the day than I do from just taking a lesson. Um, you get to step outside of yourself as a singer. This is really important because we don't often get feedback in the moment, and I mean that like sound wise. You don't get to hear yourself as you actually are. And so it's really, really great to be able to hear other people work through some of the same things that that you do in your own lessons, but now you get to hear it in real time what the difference is sound wise. And also just to get to see how what a person comes in with that day, how they're singing, just right off the bat, what pieces they're working on, what the goal is for that day. It's fascinating to be able to see someone work through all of that. So, if you ever get the chance, highly recommend. I drag people to lessons all the time if I can because I think it's just fascinating. Um, anyway, so within that day of lessons and then my own lesson, um, I realized that I'm coming to a point where I feel like um, the the new technique that I've spent the last 2-3 years trying to learn is finally starting to come together um, well, pretty regularly. But my issue is that I still don't feel as if I can replicate it to the degree that I can when someone is, obviously with me, giving me feedback in the moment. So I've got some work to do there. um, and part of the issue that I have with that whole repeating it when someone that I trust is not giving me feedback, I think is just the fear of not being able to do it. Anyone else know what I'm talking about here? It's singing anyway, but even just especially in the kind of technique I now use is very vulnerable, and it's difficult to let yourself go there. And when I'm by myself, when it's practice time, there are things that I want to get done, right? I have I have goals or pieces that I know I want to work through that day, you know, whatever. And sometimes I think I'm frustrated with myself before I even begin, um, because I'm anticipating that, I won't be able to do the thing. And so I get frustrated, and then things start to, tense up. And this technique is very much about allowing everything to just be released and open. And it's a wonderful thing when that happens, but man, you would be amazed at what can affect your ability to find that. Um, Anyhow, if any of you are ever interested in why I changed my technique, on what I feel the difference is now, and how it's affected my view of what's happening on stage in many places now. I would love to do a video like that, but if I'm just gonna talk to myself, I guess I won't. So let me know down below if that's something that you would like to see, because I have some very strong opinions that I'm sure are not the most beloved opinions um, by the industry, but I think there's pretty good evidence for them. So anyhow, that's an option. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to hear all about it. Um, Anyhow, so having to start over after 20 some years of singing one way, singing the approved way, the way that schools teach music majors to sing nowadays. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about there. So yeah, let me know. Anyhow, so after that lesson of really feeling like things are starting to come together, that I'm understanding how all the pieces fit together, and feeling more and more confident that eventually I can find it, okay, but less so when I'm on my own, I've decided that I need to do much more, listening. And I've always been a listener, um, and if you're a musician, especially singers, to sort of figure out what the performance practice is for certain roles and phrases and whatever, we use recordings often to reference, not to copy, but to reference, right? And I noticed that what I've been missing is having in front of me any of the arias or the roles that I'm working on. What I need to do is go through and mark my scores for the different singers that I feel do them best, to see where their, you know, what's the word? Come on, brain. To see where their phrase markings are. Where is the height of each phrase? Where are the word stresses? Where are the, because we all think that we're doing it right until we listen to someone else do it, and we're like, oh yeah, mine is a little clumsier than that, or whatnot. So, with the help of my handy dandy iPad and Fourscore, I will be listening and writing out all the different things that all my favorite singers do. Um, and we'll see what kind of effect that has on the next lesson I have, which is this coming Saturday. So hopefully some interesting things will come from that, and we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So, and then I do feel good about the fact that I did what I told you guys I was going to do last week. um, Sorry, I'm laughing and rocking my desk. I told you I would get another video out to you, and I did it. And if you haven't seen it already, I hope you'll go give it a watch. I know visually it's not all that interesting, but I was hoping that the quality would have stayed a little bit better with the speeding up process of the sound. It didn't, so I understand it's not like the best quality, but that video really shows you how much a good teacher will stop you. Because if you're at the very beginning, you can hear me just saying quite a few times. That is because that is what I could not move on from until I got that exactly right, right? Um, and throughout the lesson, you will hear many repetitious phrases and warm ups and, that kind of thing. Um, and I think it gives you a really good idea of how much you need to do something before you can even hope to be good at it, you know? Um, it's tough, and if you are someone who is sensitive like me, it can be difficult sometimes to be literally stopped halfway through two 2 seconds of a note, right? Because it's not perfect yet. um, but at the same time, that's the only way that you learn how to do better, you know? Um, just like any other physical something, if you're repeating it in a way that isn't good, that isn't, at least as great as you can make it in that moment, what you're really doing is just sort of learning the wrong thing, right? You're letting it work through the channels that you actually don't want it to. So it's an interesting thing, I think, but I'm a music nerd, so um anyhow, what do you guys have planned for your weeks? Any cool projects going on? Hmm? I actually have there elsewhere where I would show you. I have a box full of old piano keys from an old player piano that one of my good friends had that they needed to disassemble to get out of their home. Um, and I asked if I could have the uh, key assembly and um, the hammer assembly, uh, just to maybe play around with, try to make some art out of. And I just have not yet been struck with anything to do with these. So I think this week I ought to spend a little time, spend a little time um, kind of pondering what to do with them. I've got a few laid out on my desk right now, and I've been kind of arranging and stacking and seeing what might work well for that. But I need some inspiration, you know? Do any of you do crafts with crafts? Do any of you do sculptures or crafts or, whatever with found objects? I would really be interested to know. And if you yourself have a channel here, let me know because I will watch. um, anyhow, I think for this week, I'm going to go with the same goal because I want to be able to pull through. I want to be able to deliver. So I'm going to say that I'm going to get you one other video this week, all right? Sometime before next Monday. And if there is something you are dying to hear or to see or to have me talk about, um, put something down in the comments. Maybe I'll make that video for you. You never know, okay? So I'm going to wrap up here, but I thank you all so much for joining me. And again, if you haven't subscribed or liked, please do. That helps me out a little bit. And honestly, it's just nice to know that there's a little community around here. So, yeah, thank you very much and have a great week. All right. See you next time.